Me?
There's this whole big space right here. Too much, man. Everybody's just doing too much.
You told me it was a big old space. I moved my tiny head in.
Too much. Actually, time to check, man. Keep us in check.
3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Welcome back to our channel.
Thanks so much for watching.
Today we are doing another J.A.K.E and we're doing another renovation video. We saw that you guys really like the renovation video, plus our house needed to be renovated, so we said let's do a video about this.
Why not?
Why not?
So guys, as we said, this is something that we enjoy doing. Like, especially Judine loves to find little projects around the house and goes, hey guys, we can do this. Why not? I found all these videos. Let's go. Right?
Dream big, guys. Dream big.
So for a while, she's been talking about the dining room chairs. We've had them all our lives from our mother was a child. So it's family heirloom.
People say when Jesus was a boy.
From Jesus was a boy, right? So she said it needs to be redone. They were looking a bit tacky. They were really old and looking dusty and all those things. So we decided, let's do it.
Yep. So what happened first was we realized, well, as we said before, Judine is the one that was really on the internet looking at stuff. We, at one point, were just thinking, yo, we need to just throw away these chairs. But then Judine was like, no, I've been watching these videos of how people refinish them, how you can actually take off the base and just put fabric back over that, and how it'll be like a 1-2 quick time project that we can do.
Quick time project.
That we can do. Do you hear these words that she uses? Why is she not in sales? She needs to just work for a company instead of using all of her powers on us.
So my initial plan was to get those spandex chair covers. You know, the ones that you can just put over the entire chair, which would be something that is easy enough to do. And I found them on Amazon, and they had like packs of 4 or packs of 6, and we have 8 chairs. So that was my initial plan. It's like, we're just gonna take out the cushions and wrap them ourselves. So I was like, Abigail, come, flip the chair. So we just flipped the chair, and we saw that it had it was just screwed in. So we're like, all right, go for the screwdriver. Let's just see if we can do it. And we took it out. It was easy as a breeze to come out. And we're like, see? So we had another piece of fabric at the house, extra piece of fabric. So we're like, all right, we're going to cover them with this. So we go, cut it, cover one, just one as a tester, cover it. And we're just like, see, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. So what we initially did was just cover the existing cushion. We never took anything off it. We just covered it. So you get the fabric, you measure it, you drape it around the cushion, use a staple gun, staple it in, and we're like, bam! Yeah. And then we put it back in to see how it is, and it was fine. And then we thought, we need some additional sponge.
Yes.
Because the chairs kind of started to feel very thin, and we're like, all right. So after we did the first cover, we looked and we're like, it still looked kind of flat. I don't know, maybe it's because it was, so old. The cushion started to be worn. So we're like, we need some sponge to put in it so it gets some padding and stuff. So we're like, all right, cool.
So we were at home talking about, so we decided, why not just do it? Why not just get up and do it? Mommy said that she knows a place that's around the corner. So we said, okay, come and show us. It's actually a place called Polyflex that's off Waltham Park Road. And they just sell a bunch of sponge.
Just sponge.
So sponge.
And mattress.
So sponge and mattress. If you want it for your chair, your sofa, for bedding, for mattress, for if you want to have cushions bouncing on things.
They just have the little sponge that you can use to put into.
They got you. They got standard size. They got custom sizes. They got thickness. They got it. They got it.
What were their prices like though?
So the ones that we got, which were 18 by 18
and 1.5 inch thick.
18 by 18, 1.5 thick. Chair cushions, they were like 200 and something each. It was less than 300.
No man, it was $200 each. I didn't know the plus tax, so probably like 216. So
that was it. So at the end of the day, we spent like 2,000 because it's bought 10. And it was pretty cost effective.
And especially because this was a regular size that they have, they didn't have to now go and cut it. So it was something that was there. We just went in, paid for it, picked it up, drive back home.
Yeah. So we got back home and we decided, all right, let's test this one thing.
So we'll put it on the couch. So we'll put it on the chair and wrap the fabric over it, and we're like, wow, this looks nice. Yeah.
So we were basically just using fabric to cover it, as Janine said, that we just found around the house. But when we put it on, we're like, this don't really go with the color of the dining room. Plus the type of fabric that it was, you could basically see every little bit of sponge and space in between the sponge and stuff. So we're just like, this is nice, but not great. I think we can do better.
Yeah.
So better they did.
So we said, all right, you know what? Let's just go to Pablo's. Everybody know Pablo's. Pick up yourself. And we're going to Pablo's. That's a fabric store for anybody who does not know. And we decided we're going to go in. Now, God was so good to us that day. I felt like we just had one bag of favor, to be honest. Because finding the place with the sponge and the fact that it was really cost effective. Because as I said, so if we're doing Italian money now, we just spent $2,000 on the sponge. Then we went to the Pablo's. And when we went in, a lady was like, you need help? So I was like, we're looking some fabric for the chair. She was the sweetest, most helpful person I have ever encountered in sales. And I normally have an issue with customer service in Jamaica. This girl, sell.
So
Big up yourself.
Sell off, right? So she's like, all right, so what we're making? So you want something to cover that? Okay, all right. So how much you want? Probably about four yards you need. I was like, well, probably about 3.5. She said, all right. But if anything, you just buy the 4. All right, so how much you want to spend? That's an expensive fabric, you know. All right, come on, let me show you some others. And we were going back and forth. She's like, I don't like that color there. I was like, what do you think about this? And it was like really, really good. She was really showing us different things. Because when I said, well, now pay this much. You know, some people would be like trying to sell you the more expensive one. She said, come, let me show you the like $500 and $600 ones. So you can see. And we look in the bin. Because in the bin, they will sell fabric by the pound. Yeah, it's like wholesale bulk fabric. So I looked and I was like, this one looks good because it has more than one color in it. And it was like all the colors of the dining room. So our dining room right now is like a greenish color. And the table is like a deep mahogany color. So we wanted something that wasn't too dark, but wasn't too light. So the color that we found was just perfect. And because it was bulk fabric, we asked her, measure it out. And it turned out to be 6 yards. I was like, I have to buy all of it? And she's like, no, but make a wait and see. And she said, this is going to be real cheap. So when they weighed it out and everything, it came up to $2,000. Now, backtrack. The first fabric that we liked when we went into the store was $1,000 per yard. So if I went with that fabric, I'd end up spending $4,000. I mean, plus tax.
Yeah.
For the 4 that we need for the chairs. Now another fabric that we found was $750, which wasn't so bad. And then there's a $651 that never really looked good. But I was like, might as well because it's cheap. But this one, I would have gotten 6 yards for the $2,000. So I was just like, perfect. So now we reached $4,000 spending.
Yep. So we decided that we're not only going to cover the chairs, but we're going to stain them so that the color comes back and it's more rich and just vibrant looking. So at True Valley, we got the stain and we got sandpaper to get the little nitty-gritties and more sandpaper for Mommy's sander. All of that was about under $1,000. So that was also pretty good.
So as with most excitement in this family, it happens or starts while I'm at work.
Everything for her as well. She's at work. Oh my
I don't know what's wrong with them why they can't do things after work hours. Anyways, so I'm just in my room working on my laptop only to hear electrical things going on. Only to hear them saying, no man, do it this way. No, take this one up. No, do it this way. And I'm just like, what is going on outside? Because I know that this is a plan for us to do, but I didn't know we were doing it ASAP, like immediately. So I come out and there is the electric sander going on and the chairs are being sanded down and Julian is over one side and they have like this whole factory line system going on. So you have the people who are taking out the screws out of the chairs and then you have to label the screws to the actual chairs that it came from. And then Abigail is outside now and she has sand down the chairs them. And I was just like, all right, well, big production going on in this family. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So that's what we really did. So when we took out the screws out of one chair, we labeled the chair A. So the cushion was labeled A, the screws were labeled A, and the chair it came from was labeled A. So we know we're putting this set back together. So this was all Wednesday.
Yeah.
All of that.
Everything that we just said, one day,
yes.
Wednesday. We dismantled the chairs. So we took out the cushions, as we said, labeled the different things. We sanded down the chairs. We stained the chairs. And then the next day now we're gonna wrap the cushions and put the chairs back together because we wanted the stain to stay overnight. And then first thing in the morning, because this is no night, we don't even know if we stayed in it properly. We're using one light in the garage. So in the morning when we look at the chairs, we're like, oh yeah, this needs to fix back, that needs to fix in terms of the stain. So we touch it up, left it for parts of the day while we started working on the cushions and wrapping the cushions.
Yeah.
So Thursday now we're staining it a second time, just so that it can have a better look, to cover up any smear marks or whatever it is. And we're fixing the cushions. We decided we were just going to put the sponge and then wrap it on top of what was existing, but that was too bulky.
Yeah.
So we decided we're going to rip off the very old fabric. Okay?
That was nailed.
That was nailed to it.
Not staples.
There was so much dust flying around from the chairs. We had to drop a mask because it was just so dusty. And we happened to break a couple of the chairs. Right. The base boards were broken, so we had to fix those as well.
So you have to do glue and the duct tape. I don't know if that's how you fix it, but hey,
it's holding together strongly. Okay, so right now we're covering the new chairs. We're putting on the new fabric, we ripped off the old one, putting on the new sponge, and we're wrapping them. That's a pretty easy task, trying to get it look seamless and everything. The challenge came when we were putting the chairs back together.
So what had happened was
many things had happened, okay?
What we did is that as we cut the sponge for it, because each chair you will find is a little bit different than another. So you cut the sponge specific to that chair, you label the sponge. As we go into A sponge, A chair, A nails, A cushions.
Yeah.
Right. So I started stacking them on the floor and Rebecca started playing with the sponge.
Yeah.
So I realized that she was taking off some of the labels. But I didn't. And this is after the fact. After the fact, you realize she was taking off some of the labels. So when you looked on the floor at one point, I saw like F on the floor, and I was like, "So which one is F chair?"
We already did F.
We thought we did F already. Oh no, we didn't do F.
Or when we went outside, we realized that the only base chairs we had left were like B, E, G. Right?
We had H,
B, E, G. Base chairs outside. The cushions that we had inside were like F, C, G. So we realized
G, but
we were very far off. It wasn't just
this one.
No,
we're like two. There are about 2 or 3 that were like.
We had about 3 that were just like, you know what?
We'll save them for last.
And then also because the sponge is thick, right? And we're wrapping that on top of on top of some of what was there before. It was a bit thicker to push back into the groove.
Yes.
So we had to have a new system now.
Yes.
So the new system was we'll flip it on the table, we use a little hammer, knock it in, and then we start to screw it in.
No,
because we have
if
to get
if the screws lined
holes lined up, then
we'll be like, okay,
works.
cool, let's use this one. At the end of the day,
they look really good.
they looked really good.
Amazing.
They looked really good.
It made us feel like this is something we could do once. I don't know if I want to do this again.
Halfway through standing, I was just like, what is this that we took on?
Yes.
Can we just stop now?
Yes.
I was like, no.
And then the stain got on my hand.
Oh,
Lord. And my
Lord.
hand was burning. My hand stripped. I wish I had pictures of it.
No,
My hand
guys,
stripped
if you're
completely.
going to stain anything, make
Go
sure
to-
you're in a very ventilated
ventilated
area
area.
because the scent is very strong.
Yep.
Like we were inside, the doors inside were locked, so we were outside, and inside you could still smell it. Secondly, wear gloves. Even if it means 2 pairs of gloves.
And that's the thing.
Wear
Wear
gloves.
thick gloves. Because we were wearing the latex gloves.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It went through the latex gloves to
Yeah.
my hands. So I was like, oh no, I need to wear 2 gloves. It went through it the second time, but that's probably because we were dipping the sponge in.
Yeah.
If you use a brush, which we did with another project, stay tuned, that one was pretty easy, nothing happened.
Yeah.
But because we're using the sponge for this, and the sponge would kind of dip in and some of your fingers, me don't know, my hand strip off.
Alright, not strip off. Her
pictures.
hand was stripped.
See a picture there.
Yeah.
She's good now.
Yeah.
But we found that for doing the more detailed things, a sponge was better than the brush because the brush might have left streak marks and the sponge had a
Made
more
it
seamless seamless and I was able to move with the mold of the grooves of the
Yes.
chair better.
Yeah. So our pro tip then is definitely wear gloves when staining, and if possible wear thick ones so that you can use the sponge, because the sponge will give you a better overall look.
So in all, to do this entire project, we spent about $5,000. And then, you know, some of the things we had at home already. So we had a staple gun at home already, which you're going to need. We had screwdriver at home already. We had hammer at home already. We had the blade, which you would need to cut the sponge. We had that already. So if you're going to do this project, you would need to have those things as well.
Yeah,
so if you don't have them as already, you'd have to add that to your cost if you're going to do that at home. Also, the sponge that we used to stay in the chair came from the sponge that we cut out of the cushions. But we had to make little grooves at the side. So we just use that same sponge to do that. So repurpose some of the things that you have. You got to need newspaper to spread on the ground.
Oh, definitely.
You need garbage bags to collect the crap.
Yup.
And tape to label the different chairs to the cushions and to, you know, secure the
chair
nails.
breaks. Use the tape. Use that same tape.
And maybe, you know, keep children away from this project.
Yes.
So that your wonderful factory line system will actually hold up.
So guys, thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments if you like this project and if you're going to try something like this in the future. Remember to
Like,
comment,
Share.
subscribe, hit the bell. Bye.